Are there any downsides to getting a prenuptial agreement? Many people already, whether they're lawyers or not, see some of the pros of a prenuptial agreement pretty easily. Protecting your property, your assets, retirement funds and benefits, your house, and other things from a predatory spouse in the event of a divorce that protect you that more than the absence of a prenuptial agreement would. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to protect yourself against harm and nothing wrong with trying to plan ways to avoid unnecessary harm. And in certain circumstances, getting a prenuptial agreement between you and your fiancé before you marry may not be simply a good idea, but a very wise one. If you have been divorced before, a prenuptial agreement may be a wise idea, especially if your fiancé has also been divorced before. Both of you have been through the divorce meat grinder and likely want to ensure that never happens again in the unfortunate event that you divorce again. Widows and widowers who want to ensure that their estate passes on to their own children and not to the spouse may also find a prenuptial agreement a useful estate planning device. And high net worth individuals may feel a prenuptial agreement is a necessary evil, even if it may not be something that they actually want, to ensure that they are protected in the event they learn after the fact of marriage that they married a gold digger. But most people don't consider the cons of a prenuptial agreement, and I think that's a mistake. I think they also do so at their peril. While a prenuptial agreement might protect you in some ways, obviously, it harms you and your marriage in others. First, prenuptial agreements are not treated the same way as other contracts. They are not as easy to enforce, not as cut and dried. There's no guarantee the court will find your prenuptial agreement enforceable or fully enforceable. Some judges try to find flaws in prenuptial agreements so that they are not restricted in what they can do in a divorce case. Other kinds of judges may want to take pity on one of the spouses and want to do things for that spouse that, unless the prenuptial agreement is found to be invalid, they cannot do. Keep that in mind when contemplating a prenuptial agreement. What most certainly will happen, to some degree or another, if you propose that you and your fiancé sign a prenuptial agreement before marriage, is questions over trust and commitment. They will arise. And that can cause a cloud of doubts and suspicions and hurt feelings to hang over your marriage throughout the marriage. A prenuptial agreement raises the question, is divorce a matter of when, not if? For some people, a prenuptial agreement is almost a necessity. For other people, it may be a good option. But if you are marrying for the first time, and you're young, and you're relatively poor, and you don't have a lot of assets, if you want to commit to your spouse and your marriage as a lifelong and noble endeavor, kind of a burn your ships situation, then in my opinion, a prenuptial agreement gets your marriage off on the wrong foot. Success is meaningless if the risk of failure does not exist. A prenuptial agreement itself is not without its own risks. Trying to prevent the pain and loss associated with divorce with a prenuptial agreement risks draining the life out of your marriage's prospects for success as well. Choose carefully.